Hey guys, Dark Humility here, with yet another Season 7 closed beta, mini guide, and demo. We have here a Whirlwind Assassin. Arguably, this is even stronger than the Whirlwind Barbarian, if you can believe it. Crazy AoE, crazy power, absolutely shreds everything with both physical and poison damage. It's honestly kind of nutty. So, first, let's get into it. I'm sure you guys are wondering, what exactly is this insanely strong build? We got enough strength to wear our gear, enough dex to wear our claws, and everything into vitality. Res, you can go higher res if you plan on running bursts of speed. We're going to go the lazy way. I'm going to run fade, so we have max res that way. So we're good to go. Attack rating, usually you want to hit your attack rating at least around 10,000. It can be tough to hit it, but I'll show you guys how to do it, no problem. Run max Venom. Synergy. Venom is very strong in this build. It's really the only build where Venom really makes a big difference. And then, of course, besides like Zeal Assassin and some other melee sin builds as well. Of course, you also have Weapon Block. You can put more points into that other than 1, but you want a minimum of 1. Max Fade if you're going Fade, put more points into Burst of Speed if you go on that if you want. Max Claw and Dagger Mastery, and you can of course put more points into Shadow Master. This is really your tree on this build for the most part, except for this Synergy. Gotta put 1 point to Tiger Strike as well though. This is actually going to boost our melee splash radius. By the time you get to charge 3, you have a 40% melee splash radius, and that includes any kind of Whirlwind or Blade Dance skill, so that's pretty cool. And then, of course, 1 into Blade Shield, more into Blade Shield. Blade Shield's also pretty good as well. I'd usually just put 1 into it, though. I wouldn't bother too much with that one on this particular build. And, yeah, so, pretty good, important stuff. Mercenary's Blessed Aim. You really need that attack rating. I would definitely go Blessed Aim with the Deadly Strike it also provides as well now. Attack rating and Deadly Strike, very good combo. In addition to, of course, Concentration and Might. And you're going to want both of those, and you're going to want all the survivability gear on him as well. So I think that's pretty much best in slot Merc. But there's other Mercs you can go as well, but you don't want to rely on them following you because you usually outpace them. So having a Merc that just provides you auras is usually ideal. And then of course for the gear, there you go, J-Buck, man. There you go. Alright, so Chaos is a mandatory item. You're going to want to make it in an F weapon, F claw. Ideally War Fist, because it has really high minimum and maximum damage. It's an elite claw with really high damage. And it's slow, but that's okay because Whirlwind doesn't require attack speed. You'll see here the attack speed frames are totally irrelevant. Doesn't actually work. As a matter of fact, I don't know why it's showing any breakpoints there. It shouldn't be. Life Leech, Mana Leech, you want 1 source of each. Blah 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 blah. Fast Run Walk is good, and I wouldn't recommend using Dragonflight or you'll expend your Tiger Strike claws, Tiger Strike charges, which will reduce your radius in your Whirlwind, which will suck. You can of course use Enigma, you can just use really faster run walk, you can use burst of speed, you can get more faster run walk, lots of ways to handle that, but that's potentially a better way. Anyway, I'm going to have Enigma though for that, just to handle that particularly. Really high enhanced damage helm though. Enigma provides additional strength, which helps with the damage just in general, also gives us some faster run walk and some other very good stats. This is our amplified damage solution. Strangely enough, you don't normally need this, but against highly physical resistant monsters, this will help out quite a bit. It's pretty good as secondary amp solution on a Whirlwind character. CTA and Lidless on swap for normal buff, but as we'll show you guys, pre-buffing Venom can make you even stronger. It is also unnecessary for just doing decent damage. There's the Leech. Can of course get Heart of the Wolverine from Wisp, which is nice. Crushing Blow splashes, so it's a really good thing to have on any kind of build now. I kind of like this maybe over Soul Drainers since you don't do as much physical damage, and it's kind of like half physical, half poison. So getting some ED plus crushing blow is not a bad solution. Also, if you're gonna wear this, you're gonna have to require it's gonna require a lot of strength anyway. And then of course, string of ears, life leech, DR, good stuff for surviving. Surviving is good. Just having some of that block is good. It's all good. You can wear max damage GCs. It's something you can definitely do, but because you benefit so much from the shadow tree, just in general, particularly like claw and dagger mastery and things like that. Shadow mastery or shadow GCs are actually really good on this build. Then you can go assassin torch, Annie, and then max damage or life res or MF or whatever you want down there. These items here, so we have some alternative claws you can use. I just put burrs in there just for the crushing blow. Just kind of just funny. You don't have to do that though. You can go like, if you're lacking deadly strike, you can go low runes. You can go ED, max damage, jewels, whatever you want. However, Bramble, 2 Shadow Killers, Shadow Dancer, and Dariels with arguably 5% facets. These have 5% poison facets. Negative res is relevant for stacking the initial buff. It works the same on enchant, by the way, so enchant would be fire skill damage percent and plus skills. Then of course you go plus skills there, more plus skills. If you had like a 4 shadow Ami, that'd give you even more plus skills. Blah 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 blah. Alright, blah 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 blah. Let's test out this insanely strong build. Show you guys how busted this crap is because, well, it is insanely busted. Normally I don't go like a maximum life thing, but I'll do it. What's interesting is if you don't want to pre-buff quite as hard, you could just do like Bramble and like Shadow Killers if you want. It's kind of up to you though. You don't even have to do that. Put the oops put the wrong ones on. Okay, well that works. Anyway, gonna want to put on your blade shield. Gonna want to put on your you can pre-buff your Venom before you cast it. You can use blade. You can use this to run around when you're going in between mobs if you want. Use your burst of speed. Of course, you have your fade there, and then you have your blade dance. So you're gonna want to charge up Tiger Strike, like so. Make sure you have 3 stacks, you have 3 balls circling our characters, so I think we're good to go. And our damage is pretty nutty. Doesn't really matter which weapon we use. This is a cow level man. It's a so their damage is pretty insane. You can even use Jade Talon, which is seem to be a little bit of a cheaper item. This is really broken. Yeah. What have they buffed besides the splash? That's pretty much it. It just gave more melee splash in general. It's looking really, really strong. Remember, I'm faded, so we got all that crap. Good to go. Melt stuff. It just melts it. Absolutely melts it. I think they buffed Blade Dance. You can actually read off the patch notes. So one of the reasons we're making this here is because in Season 7, if I can recall right, it got some change in the main patch notes. Of course, we can take a look at that in a second. No, you need to create a Chaos Claw. So Chaos has the skill Blade Dance on it. That is a required item. So you need Blade Dance. You can't do Whirlwind on an Assassin without it. Blade Dance and Whirlwind, the same thing, you know. Looks better than Whirlwind? It is. And the Whirlwind Bard is already super strong, so we've already see just how powerful this is. But if you think that's powerful, oddly enough, it can get even more absurd. So if you want to take the time to pre-buff everything, you totally can. And of course, if you do this, you have an absurd amount of power. Oh, I can't even pre-buff my boots. I guess I don't have quite enough strength. Rip. Didn't put enough strength in for that. Well, that's okay. Close enough. Yeah, it's almost how much we had with the other two skills. Just still hitting about 8,000. And then you can just go put everything back on. I really like Fury because the minimum damage is really high, by the way. I really like Fury. I'm a big fan of Fury. I think that's a good one. So you can get the percent damage. Okay, I think everything is back where it should be. Oh, except didn't put back on our chaos. That's no good. Okay, so as you can see, our damage now is really high and really consistent. It's pretty similar to Elemental Paladin Charger, if you guys also view that video. It's got about the same damage. As you know, that build is also pretty broken. Look at that damage. Look at that damage. Just absolutely tears through everything. And of course, well, you know, doesn't have any problems with bosses, unlike something like like Dark Pact or something, you know. You actually switch to your lidless if you want to teleport a little bit faster if you're using Enigma, by the way. Doesn't really matter though. So Assassin's looking extremely powerful. As you can see, it's basically just a shred fist. My goodness. Crazy thing is, you could even do more damage. Believe it or not. Totally can. Some would argue it's stronger than normal Whirlwind. I don't know what you guys think, but of course you guys can let me know what you guys think, no problem. You know why we're not doing our damage? Because we don't have our attack rating. There we go. We forgot our Heart of the Wolverine. And if you do Fade, you're just so tanky, yeah. Because you have like max block, you have DR, you have like curse reduction. It's a pretty solid hardcore build, honestly. And if you remember like normal Whirlwind, it's like the same thing. Where did some of our res go, actually? I feel like somehow, some way, we were wearing the wrong gear, but I don't see it. Oh, that's the thing, C2. It's a little broken, right? It's a little broken. Of course, it's even more impressive in a map where the HP of the monsters isn't absurdly high. Because then you can just tear through everything. So you may as well show that a little bit as well. And a map like this is honestly, anyways, pretty ideal for that. Pretty darn ideal. Okay, so once again, if you want to put on some pre-buff, feel free, you totally can. Little 48 Venom, yeah. See, and that's honestly, that's pretty small, honestly, if you think about it. It's pretty weak sauce. You can get it a lot higher. That's tiny. Now, most people I don't think like to swap out all these items, but even with that, as you could see, it was still tearing up. So I showed it before it started I showed it before and after, so before and after the pre-buff, and you can see, even though the pre-buff helps, obviously, it's not going to be like a make or break for this build. Look at all these poor, unsuspecting monsters. It's the one-shot Whirlwind build. Remember the one-shot Whirlwind? Well, it used to exist before in some previous seasons, and now it's back. But is this a barb? No, it's not. Oh yeah, I forgot Tiger Strike. Yeah. Not totally used to it, what can I say? Aw, crap. Really bad at charging this up. I'm sure you'll be better than me. Yeah, look at that AoE. Woo! This is a map that's supposed to be dangerous and hard, and the monster's supposed to kill you. Well, that can all still happen. The amp from the Atmos is helping out quite a bit there. See, Toic is laughing at the fact that poor Whirlwind Barbarian has to have 200 high runes and probably still can't clear faster than this. Right, exactly. So that's it, man. I mean, that's pretty much it. You see that there's no reason why you can't do some other awesome things to it, but yeah, it's pretty strong. And all the monsters get wrecked for free. Let's actually go over the patch change that made all this possible, by the way. So if you're wondering why is Whirlwind Sin a thing again, what? It never was stronger than Whirlwind. What happened? Well, kind of explain a little bit of what happened here. It was insane last season too, for sure. We talked about her skill points. I mean, there's a lot of freedom for skill points on this build. The only things you must absolutely have to do is all the one-pointers and max Venom, Cobra, and Claw Mastery. That's pretty much it. And everything else is kind of elective. You know, having the Shadow by your side is kind of nice, you know. Keeps her Mercenary safe. Mercenary does like to die when you leave him behind, so... even with really tanky gear. I've noticed this many times playing builds like this. Alright, so as you can see, she is going on a tear. This age of the Whirlwind Sin is dawned. Okay, so here's the thing. The only really key linchpin to this build is Chaos, and everything else, like you can have Jade Talon. Like Jade Talon's an easy thing to find, and even if it's non-ethereal, it's pretty easy to acquire, and you don't even need like a jaw and a goal. I mean, obviously this is like high level stuff, but it's really powerful, and you don't need much. You can use plain Shadow GCs, which aren't really the most expensive Grand Charm in the world. It's pretty easy stuff to do and to achieve. But yeah, let's actually go over what changed here. Let's see. So we didn't test that directly, but Shadow Warrior also got buffed, so you don't only want to use Shadow Master. It's actually kind of cool to note here. However, the main thing is Tiger Strike had its animation reverted back to only using its main hand, which is pretty interesting. Also, the fact that Tiger Strike is applying to Whirlwind may or may not have been 100% intentional from the start. Maybe it was. Maybe it just sent it over the edge. No one really knows. But at any rate, that is the case. One thing to note is that Blade Dance attack rating has been increased a lot, which used to be a really big issue with this build. So now when you have Blessed Aim, and Blessed Aim, another reason why this build used to have issues is that Blessed Aim wasn't really much of a thing, but now it gives Deadly Strike on top of that. See, my Deadly Strike's almost max now, it's 74. So if you check that out, plus the fact that I actually get attack rating from it, and they massively buff the base attack rating on Blade Dance, those things all together mean that the main problem of not being able to hit has largely been ameliorated, and now you can just use Shadow GCs and everything else, and it's just super freaking strong. So Splash, AR, Tiger Strike has a cooler animation, I guess now. That's always cool. But anyway, yeah, it's kind of interesting to note. Very interesting stuff, and hopefully you guys learned, of course, more about how this works just in general. And you can also do Tiger Strike, oddly enough, with just one weapon once more, so feel free to do that if you don't want to do Blade Dance. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoy this demo and mini guide. And Dark Humility will burn out. See you guys next time.